Hello, everybody. It's Mike Racine. I will be in Atlanta November 19th, 2021 at the Roll Call Theater with Adam Friedland. Shows at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. We would love to see you there. Ticket link in my social media bio. If you live in Atlanta, get in there, get tickets. It'll be a lot of fun. Welcome to the show. Let's cue that intro music. Hi, it's me. It's Mike Racine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. I know the episode is a couple days late. There's a thing with podcasting. I feel like you want to be in the right, especially doing this the way I do it, where I don't have a team or anything or other people that I work with. You want to be in the right headspace, when you do it. I don't want to get on here all, when I'm I want to get on here in a good mood when I feel prepared and I feel like I'm ready to do the show. So that's what I'm hopefully doing right now. I got some stuff prepared. I got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to Houston this weekend doing Skank Fest with the boys. I told one of my neighbors I tried to explain Skank Fest to one of my Carroll Gardens neighbors earlier today, and I said, it's my friend. Yeah, my friend Lewis has a show, and it's called Legion of Skank. So there's a festival I'm going to called Skank Fest. So because I started off by being like, oh yeah, I'm really sad about leaving my family because I have to go do this comedy festival, and then I said, yeah, it's called Skank Fest. I'm really sad that I have to leave my family and go do Skank Fest. But anyway. But that's part of the game, part of what we do. Will it be nice to get out of town for a little bit? I don't know. I hope the shows are good. I'm going to see my friends and everything. It should be a pretty good time, But yeah, please come to Atlanta. What are we going to start talking about today? Well, I would like to start. So usually I like to tape these shows on Tuesday. And then I feel like if I can't do them Tuesday, I'll do them Wednesday. Okay? And Wednesday is like the makeup day. But sometimes it's just, life gets in the way, and I think about having to do the show, and I go, what am I going to talk about? I gotta entertain these people, for the 10 of you that are still, actually that's not true. There's people listening. But for those of you who are still listening to the show, which I do appreciate, I want it to be a good show. I want to have stuff to talk about. I want to feel like I'm prepared. I want to feel like I have takes. I am very. I gotta say, I'm very envious of my friend Tim Dillon, whose podcast I listen to sometimes. It just feels like he's a guy who always has stuff to say. He's always got something to say. He's always ready with a hot take or with something to talk about. And I listen to Tim sometimes. I go, damn, where are my hot takes? Where are my opinions? I think it depends on who I'm around and who I'm talking to and who when I'm around different people, it's easier to get stuff out of me, but. Most of the time, I just walk around like you people. I walk around very empty-headed, blank, void of any thoughts or feelings about anything, relatively comfortable, I don't know who does have a lot of it. It's rare that people do have that many opinions. It's rare that people do have. It's rare that people every single day have things that they're burning to talk about. I think. I don't know. But I should, if I want to be, in this business, you gotta have takes, you gotta have stuff to say, you gotta be interesting, you gotta be, So I went on, so I started preparing the show, I think around like 11 a.m. today. I woke up. I was supposed to go to the DMV at 10, and Deborah was supposed to come back, so she was supposed to go to work and then come back and let me go to the DMV. But my appointment was at 10, and she didn't get back from work until about 9:45. So I didn't want to run the risk of, going to the DMV and getting yelled at by, the DMV employees that work there. And we know who works at the DMV. It's people who might yell at you. I don't want to make it a racial thing, but why? But also why not? I mean, we know who works there, and we know we know who works there, and we know their reaction to these people who work at the DMV have a very low tolerance for horse shit, for bullshit, for I'm so sorry, was my appointment at 10? They're gonna know when you're lying to them. I don't want to deal with that. It's like going to Whole Foods, You're like, these people already hate me by looking at me, and they're right to hate me, and I'm sure their job's not very good, but I wouldn't go to Whole Foods being annoying. I go in there, I go, all right, hey, yeah, nice to be here, thanks for having me, respect your space, blah blah blah. But yeah, not something that I want to mess with. So I canceled my DMV appointment, and it's like, and when you have something and you go and you're like, oh, this is what I was gonna do. Now you have to like shift your entire brain to think about what you're gonna do now. So I was like, all right, let me take a second, because I was so ready to go to the DMV to get my license replaced. I go, let me take a second. Let me figure this out. Let me get my. Let me go for a walk. I'll take my kid for a walk. Get a coffee. Walk to the coffee shop. Come back. I start researching for the show. I start looking at the New York Times website. Very slow news right now. Very slow. Not a lot going on. But what are you doing over there? But it does feel like COVID is still kind of the big story. And it feels like COVID is still in the news. We're still talking about COVID. And I think that I don't know. With COVID, it's like I don't know what to do at this point. I really don't want to talk about it at all. I don't want to think about it. I'm worn out. I'm exhausted. I'm out of gas. I don't want to think about COVID anymore. I don't even like that I have to wear a mask in my building. I really don't like it. It's really annoying. Putting the mask on. I'm vaccinated. Everybody in my building, we're all, there is very much, no matter where you are, there is very much of a groupthink kind of mentality. It's very easy to be influenced by the people that you're around and whatnot. But I am done. I don't know how people are still thinking and talking about this. Unless you have a family member who's compromised, who I would hope is vaccinated, unless you, like, I feel bad, there's people in my life, extended family, who seem to still be in COVID mode. And I can't figure out why. Is there something wrong with me? Do I not care? I feel like I cared in the beginning. I feel like I went to I wore gloves to the supermarket. I didn't go. I went grocery shopping at 1:00 in the morning. I didn't leave my house. I watched movies. I didn't go to the park. I did what I was told. I did. I would try to be a good citizen, and You know, you got to do your part. But it's hard for me now to be like, to be still. I don't understand why anybody would still be in COVID mode, full COVID mode. Because like I said, I did everything. I didn't use the basketball hoops when they closed those down, when they built the barriers around the calisthenics area at the park. I didn't jump over the fence and do pull-ups, which was like one of the only things that I did enjoy doing. You know what I mean? I did what I was asked to do. And, by the way, somebody just posted this photo of Ariana Grande, and she looks like anyone else. She looks like any woman that you might see in Bushwick. Anyway. So I just can't be bothered with it. Yeah. I just can't be bothered with this stuff. But there's still news stories about it. There's still here's the vaccine reports. There's still, now look, if you're someone in Arkansas who's 400 pounds and hasn't exercised your whole life and is going, the virus only kills old and fat people, and then you get it, I don't know. I don't know what to say. There's nothing I can do to help you. I got to move on with my life. I got a family. I hope this is how a lot of people are feeling right now, because I'm just kind of like, I'm just kind of sick of talking about it. And that's how I feel. I also feel like it's a little hack to be anti-vaccine at this point. It's a little tiresome. You know? I just kind of feel like, what are we, the people who are doing this, who are still going to the protests, what are we doing? I mean, I've heard people complain. I mean, I guess in my opinion, it's like enough people, if you want my opinion, enough people have died from this virus. A lot of people have died. And now there's a vaccine. And I think everybody's saying that it's safe. And, my opinion is that we should all get it. It doesn't feel like it's killed anyone. I don't know. Unless you have legitimate reservations about it, I think everybody should do it. I don't know about mandates. I don't know if mandates are effective. But, maybe they are, right? Maybe if you're not taking the vaccine, now I'm just saying maybe here. I'm just saying maybe. Maybe if you're not taking the vaccine, you're a little piggy who needs to be told what to do. Maybe. I'm just saying. That's a possibility. There is a possibility that the vaccine is gonna get us out of this thing. It's gonna help your life. It's gonna be good for everyone. And if you don't take it, you're too fucking stupid to know what's good for you, and the government should come to your door and hold you down and put the vaccine in your body. Maybe that is the correct take. I'm just saying. That is a possibility. It's almost like something like slavery, That could be, like, okay, you can't have slaves. And yeah, I think that is the right moral choice. And sometimes you do need to bring, sometimes Daddy Sherman has to come down there and burn your house down. Because what you're doing is wrong. Yeah. So So I feel like it's almost a little hack to be anti-vax at this point. If you have reservations about it, fine. But I have zero respect for people who at this point are like going to protest. Now I understand you lost your job, okay? But at this point, like going to protests and live streaming the protests and like meeting up and taking selfies with the fucking lady that you saw on Instagram. And give me 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second. Taking selfies with the lady that you saw on Instagram and all this other horse shit. And, it's too much. Okay, and I'm back. Excuse me for a second. I had to take a little. I had to move my baby. I'm alone with the baby today, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. Sorry, let me bring this down. I'm trying to figure out what to do when I have him. I don't know if I should put him. It's like, do I put him in the crib? What's he gonna do that's gonna make him shut the fuck up so Daddy can podcast? And we got the computer on right here, and he's watching his show with the dancing fruit that is on mute. We'll see how well that goes while I try to remember what I was going to talk about. But anyway, okay, so one thing that's been kind of annoying me lately is I do have a member of my extended family, or my wife's extended family. So this is a guy who is very into, for some reason he got very into, anti-vax stuff. I don't know what kind of information he's getting or where he's getting his information or whatever, but he got very into I mean, this is a guy who doesn't seem like he's passionate about really anything. And he's like, I've never felt more strongly about anything in my entire life. This is about them taking away our freedoms. We have to hold the line against these mandates. I guess he had some kind of DOE job, where he worked with it's funny I'm not mentioning the guy's name because this is so specific. But single dad, single dad. Got a daughter who's probably 8 or 9. I don't know. Kids grow up faster than the rest of us. I feel like I've been 34 for about 9 years, and the last time I saw this girl she must have been like 4 or 5. But you know how kids, you go, what are you like 2 now? And she's like, I have a job. But anyway, so the guy's got a kid. He had some DOE job, refused to take the vaccine, got laid off, and now it's like all the posts and stuff and the live streams. Man, these check out Hey Bear on YouTube. This dancing fruit is like hypnotizing me. I could just stare at this all day. I don't know if this is this might be more powerful than like regular children's programming. I'm just watching these two blueberries like dance in unison. Hey Bear. Yeah, check it out. So now it's like all the posting and the stories and the protests and whatever. Okay, so it's like, okay, I get it. You don't want to be forced to get a vaccine. You found some online community. You found acceptance with some other people. Maybe maybe everybody else in your community feels this way. So whatever. I can't judge. I don't agree with it, but I can't judge. And all right, you're anti-vax. But then he did something. He had another post where So he took a selfie with Curtis Sliwa, okay? Curtis Sliwa, the mayor, the Republican nominee for mayor. Curtis Sliwa for mayor of New York City. Curtis Sliwa, the guy that they found to be the Republican nominee. Now, it's been a very long time since New York had a Republican mayor. I guess Giuliani was Republican. But New York City, overwhelmingly liberal place to be. A lot of people who vote Democrat, and the guy who ran as a Democrat is basically pretty conservative. Eric Adams, former cop, guy who has a lot of, I think, ties to real estate and business and stuff like that. So very, like, very conservative, conservative Democrat. Vegan, though, I guess. Does that mean anything? But so the last time the Republicans nominated, or in my memory, the last couple people who have run for mayor as a Republican have been Bo Dietl, the cop whose podcast I did, Bo Dietl, and this guy Joe Lhota, who ran against de Blasio the first time. But Joe Lhota was like, he was the director of the MTA. That's who the New York City Republicans found to run for them. The guy who runs the subway. You know that thing that you ride every day that you fucking hate, that never shows up, that's always dirty, that's got homeless people, showing their ass every single day. You know that thing that organization that stops running the train and doesn't tell you how to get home. Yeah, the guy who runs that is going to be the Democratic nominee. But so this guy posted a selfie of himself with Curtis Sliwa, and I guess he met him at this rally, and he goes like, he took a selfie with him, and he goes, he promised my job back with back pay. And at that point, I got like sad, I was like, all right, I get it. You believe in this stuff. You're passionate about not getting vaccinated, but you haven't been at work in a couple, weeks or months. You have a daughter, and you think fucking Curtis Sliwa, the guy who has 17 cats and wears a red beret everywhere, is going to get your fucking job back. Like, this is sad. This is incredibly sad what you're doing, and you're a fucking loser. You're a dumb guy. And it wouldn't bother me as much if he didn't have a child, Literally, like, what is happening? My kid is grabbing the microphone cord. I want you to stay far away from this industry, buddy. Okay, I think I've said that on the show before. But yeah, but that was the point where I was like, this is fucking sad and pathetic. And I think I do kind of like, I feel I have compassion for a lot of people, okay? If I see a homeless person on the street, I'm like, oh, something might have happened. Something, I was in San Diego a couple weeks ago, and we were downtown. There's a lot of homeless people downtown San Diego, and it is very sad to see all that, But so I feel for people. I see people eating alone at a restaurant. I make up entire stories for their life of how they got there. Or I see old people at the mall and I get sad. I go, oh God, I hope their kids are calling them. I've always, since I was a kid, I've always felt for other people, But this shit is like a lot. You think that this guy is going to get you your fucking job back. It's hard to feel sympathy for someone who's that much of a rube. I know it's making you mad too, right? it's just hard to feel sympathy for somebody who's that much of a rube and a mark. And I just wanted to be I almost wanted to DM him and be like, buddy, it's not going to happen. This thing that you think is going to happen, it's like really not going to happen. It's really sad. And you got to just... That would be like if somebody was like, maybe if I take this metal detector and take it on the beach, I'll find a watch and then I can send my kid to college. Maybe all I need to do, maybe metal detecting is the way out of here. You know? That's where it got kind of pathetic and sad. I'm trying to think of that's where it got like what would you compare it to? I guess Eugene Pontecorvo in Sopranos. You know? Being like, this is pathetic. So anyway, I hope that this fucking idiot goes and gets a job. I hope that because there was a thing with when there was a thing doing comedy, right? When you did comedy, there were people who definitely hung around because they needed some kind of social aspect to their lives. And this is what I feel like this guy's doing. And I just feel like he's using it as an excuse for not to work, which is fine. But it's like, you have a kid. She has divorced parents. She's been through a lot. Like, get a fucking job. Get a job. You're a fucking loser. You make me sick. You make me sick. That's what I want to do. I want to speak from the heart today. My heart's full of hate. And you make me fucking sick. Get your shit together. All right. Yeah, that fucking the Curtis Sliwa thing was which I don't know if you guys were following the mayor race or anything, but I guess he tried to like bring his cat. He tried to bring one of his 17 cats into the voting booth. I did not vote for Eric Adams. I kind of knew he was gonna win, so I felt like I didn't have to, I'm not about to rehash this debate, and I just voted for the person next to. I just voted for the person next to Curtis Sliwa, who was from like some socialist party. I don't know anything about this person, but yeah, that's what I did. Okay, so yeah, so congrats, Mayor Adams. Good luck. I don't know what this is going to look like. I also don't feel like de Blasio did anything good for anybody. I don't feel like there was anybody who liked de Blasio. My fucking kid's crying again. There wasn't anybody who liked de Blasio for any reason. It didn't seem like so I don't know. All right. Let me get out of here. Sorry, you just worry that he's dead. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. What else is happening? Oh, so this came out a couple days ago. There was an article. David Chase reveals there was something about now. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if the news is like super slow or something, but it says David Chase reveals Tony Soprano's fate. Now, I thought that he did this like a year ago. Am I crazy? I'm pretty sure he did, where he goes, oh, actually, Tony died at the end of Sopranos. Okay. Now, so he's doing this interview, and he said that, no, actually, yeah, Tony died. This all just feels very kind of like sloppy and lazy to me. Now, I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't a part of the end of Sopranos when it happened. I didn't even really like. Somehow, I guess everybody was talking about it, and I somehow managed to keep my head buried in the sand. When that happened, I didn't hear any spoilers or anything like that. But I guess a lot of people were talking about it. Now, after I watched it, I think that the conclusion that a lot of people drew from the ending of Sopranos was that it doesn't, whether or not Tony died, like they say that when you do die, it just the world just kind of fades to black. That's what they describe as happening. But I kind of thought the consensus was that, like, it doesn't really matter if Tony died or not because he was either going to prison or he was going to die anyway, so it doesn't really matter, blah, blah, blah. He was dead. He was already dead. And then David Chase, by the way, he's an Italian guy. Obviously, look at him. He's Italian, but his name is not... His name is not Italian. It's like some, it's like some, Yeah. Yeah, he does seem like kind of a miserable guy. I had no idea it would cause that much of an uproar, says Chase. What was annoying was how many people wanted to see Tony killed. They wanted to see him go face down in Linguini, That bothered me. Okay. But you're the one who clearly has a lot of contempt for the people who do like. I mean, this guy seems like David Chase seems like a very kind of like a guy who's never happy, like somebody who's just like moody all the time, and is just kind of like a miserable person. What bothered me is that people wanted to see Tony die, but you spent like an entire season you spent all of season 6A telling the viewers to go fuck themselves, being mad at people who liked Tony Soprano. And now you're like, wow, a lot of people, wow. He's one of the woke people on Twitter who's like, wow, just wow. Yeah, my baby's screaming in the other room. Can you hear it? So it's just kind of weird that now we're like revisiting. I mean, because it does seem like that was the way that the show was that a lot of times they didn't like explain stuff, or they left a lot of stuff open-ended. So it's weird that now we're like going back and like revealing what happened. Why? Why would you reveal it 15 years later? Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. And it's like, but he's like, you watched this guy for 7 seasons, didn't you have some affinity towards him? But then it's like, well, okay, but him, I don't know if Tony, I don't know how many people Tony killed directly. I don't think it was that many people, right? But you wrote Paulie Walnuts, and I wanted to see him die after he killed that waiter in Atlantic City. Like one of the worst people on the entire show. So, yeah, it just kind of feels like, I don't know why this is coming out now. I feel like this already came out. This article was already released, unless I'm going crazy. When is this article from? November 2nd, 2021. But I don't think that this had to have come out. Wait, let me just do a quick Google search right here. David Chase reveal Tony's fate. Now, 17 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 19 minutes ago. I swear that this happened. I might have to call my brother. I'm going to have to call my brother and ask, because I swear this happened. I experienced this already. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about what I'm investing in. You know, that's a thing that I'm very passionate about. You know, where my money is, what's moving, what's doing what. Beyond Meat went through like a 20% drop. I have a pretty big position in Beyond Meat, but they are not. I guess they're Well, their stock price dropped like 25%. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to continue to hold. I think that with the way the economy, the way the economy's going and everything, it's going to be. I'm going to hang in there. And then also, I was looking at the stock Toast, which is like restaurant software. And yeah, it's like software for restaurants, and I guess that opened at about That opened when they had their IPO, it was like 65, and now it's down to I did get as low as like $50, but now it's back somewhere around 60. I would like to buy that. I just do think it's funny the way people talk about the economy, where it's like nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything about how the economy functions. There's so little that we like. I'm watching I've been sort of dabbling in this for a few years now, and you like to think that you have some kind of sense of like what's gonna happen or what's reliable, what's going on in the market, and nobody knows anything. Like I always say, your guess is as good as anyone's. No one knows anything. And then it's like you watch people be like, "Oh my God, the milk is $6 a gallon." People like people acting like they know stuff. They know why milk is $6 a gallon. And you know what? I don't think anybody does. I think that I think you're all full of shit. I feel like I had more to say there, but I there's not I don't have anything. I don't know, just weird. It's just weird to me that people It is funny seeing like boomer dads losing their shit and going like, "Fucking, I can't believe how expensive gas is," and somehow that translates to Biden failing or the economic policies failing. Nobody knows anything. Money's fake. Money's fake, and buy Bitcoin, okay? Buy cryptocurrency. Yeah. Okay, I did it. I got the baby to go to sleep. I got the baby to go to sleep. He's in the other room, sleeping. Do you guys have kids? I don't. I worry that he's gonna need to be that I'm gonna have to supervise him all the time, because I have talked about this before. I do think about him dying. Another thing I was thinking about the other day was that, like, you do have to have a plan when you have a kid of what happens when your spouse dies, and you really have to be ready for that. And it's not going to be good if I lose my wife, because I can't afford this apartment by myself. So I don't know what I would do. I can definitely afford half the rent, but I can't afford the whole rent. So what I'm thinking about, what I would have to do is I would have to ask for some kind of like rent forgiveness for a month, or some kind of like reduced rent from my landlords. I'd have to be like, "Look, my wife's dead." Hopefully they would give it to me. And then I guess I would have to get a roommate. But then I have a kid, so you can't just have anybody. And it's not like anybody would want to live here. It would have to be like a single mom. But then I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. Like, single mom, living in my house. She's probably got, maybe like we share a bedroom. Or maybe like me and my kid share a bedroom, and her kid share a bedroom. And then that kid gets to live in a nice, neighborhood, right? And then what? And then she has a bunch of like friends that come over, like single mom friends that come over. And they're like really impressed that I'm able to raise my kid, even though I have like a dead wife. So then I was like, wow, losing my wife is gonna be awesome. You know? It's going to be pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I am running bits. Yes, I am doing new bits on the show, and you guys can deal with it or turn the show off. The other thing I was thinking about was that, like, you do think about your kid dying in a lot of ways. You know, you think about like I have said this before. You think about him getting stuck in a pizza oven. But I'd rather be the dad who gets my kid stuck in a pizza oven. I'd rather be the dad who thinks about that than to be somebody who like does get their kid stuck in a pizza oven. They go, "Oh my God, how did this happen?" You know, I never would have thought of that. Now I said that to my neighbor this morning, and it got a laugh. You know, she laughed, and I go, "Oh, that's funny." Yeah, I go, maybe I should say that on stage. So I'm gonna try it out tonight. I'm going to try that joke out tonight, see how it does. But the idea that you would try to make your living, make a life out of telling jokes, out of telling these little fleeting things that you say them and they're funny and then they stop being funny and they go away and then it's so hard to like write a new one. That's insanity. I think that's real insanity. You don't do anything. Like, jokes don't do anything. I think I want to make tables. I want to be a woodworker. I want to make desks and tables for people. Bring joy to people with things that are tangible. Jokes are not. How do you quantify them? How do you put a price on them? You know? Because it's not. Oh, I'm this level of funny, so I get this level of money for my jokes. It's like I'm this level of famous. This is how famous I am, so this is what I demand to be paid. Which brings me to my next point about Pete Davidson. Now, obviously, I'm very happy for Pete Davidson. I knew him when he was a 17-year-old kid doing stand-up around Staten Island, performing at the Looney Bin on Staten Island. And I remember a lot of other comics would perform. Chris DiStefano performed there. Chris DiStefano performed there a lot. I think the owner asked him for, like, the owner was like, let me get some comics, but no blacks. He didn't want to book any black comics at the Looney Bin. He didn't want to hurt the integrity of the Looney Bin on Staten Island by booking black people. So I remember Pete when he was very young. Obviously, a very funny kid. Very quick rise, you know. I think he did Kimmel. No, you know what? I think he did Kimmel the same year that I did my first Conan. He did a Kimmel set. And then I'm thinking about my kid being dead in the other room, but I know it's fine. It's fine, right? It's fine. Yeah. So now he's fucking. I'm trying to think what celebrity I would date though if I was famous. Good for Colin Jost getting in there. I think being funny does go a long way. You know, like if you're Jason Sudeikis, that sucks. That's a fucking tough one. I'm married to Olivia Wilde. I got a great life. Look at me. I'm on top of the world. Man, I'm so funny. And I'm kind of good looking. And wow, I really fucking made it in life. And oh yeah, I'm gonna leave you for Harry Styles. And you go, but I'm funny. But you think I'm funny? That sucks. Could not be me. I am. If Deb tries to leave me, I'll kill her. But this whole Pete Davidson thing where it's like this whole Pete Davidson thing where it's like, okay, good for him. Obviously, that's nice. I guess he's dating Kim Kardashian now, which I would not want to. I would not want that. That's not something that I would be into, like dating Kanye's ex, having to talk to Kanye on the having to see Kanye. Big fan of the guy's music, but I'm not like imagine like you go to a barbecue or you go to like your daughter's baptism birthday party or something and fucking Kanye's there. And you got to talk to and you got to have a conversation with him. Not for me. But a true patriot. a true American patriot. Anyway, but this Pete Davidson thing is I think it's very indicative of like the way our society is, where it's like, okay, good for him, I'm happy for him, but it feels like we've set up our society in a way where like one guy gets all the pussy, one guy gets all the money, and one guy gets all the pussy. One guy gets, one day he has $90 billion, and then tomorrow he's got $140 billion, and the next day he's got $200 billion, and then he's on track to be a trillionaire, and he gets exponentially richer and richer and richer. We just keep giving him more and more. And then you have this guy who just like, okay, cool. Ariana, he fucks. Who did he date? He dated Kate Beckinsale. It just seems like he's gonna. I don't know why everything gets funneled. Something's wrong when we're like funneling everything. We're funneling everything to one guy. All the like high profile celebrities. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I feel like I am kind of onto something. I'm not like usually doing the show where I feel like I'm in pain. I feel like I'm kind of onto something here with like I feel like I'm kind of onto something with this, where one guy. It's like Elon Musk, which I don't appreciate that he is the richest man in the world. To me, that feels like a step in the wrong direction. To me, I feel like Bezos, I get it. Richest guy in the world. It's nice that it's not Bill Gates anymore, that's for sure. Bezos, Amazon. Why is he rich? Well, he has their Amazon. He has Amazon. Amazon is a thing that everybody uses. Yeah, their business practices are not great, but they get your fucking, paper clips to your door in 2 days. And they have a bunch of cloud stuff, and they have a bunch of, they're a big company that every single person on the planet uses, and everybody works for them too. You're literally, I think in the future, you're just going to see, I think my prediction for the future of this country is that life's going to get worse, income inequality is going to get worse, but you are going to see more blue vests because more people will have to work for Amazon, and then you're also going to see more, more people are going to use Amazon, work for Amazon, but then you also will be able to like throw tomatoes at a senator. You'll be able to like throw a bag of piss on Kirsten Sinema, and life is going to get so bad that it's just going to be like, yeah, okay. No, yeah, that's what we do. No, that's what we do. We just throw piss on our elected officials because I have no home. I'm homeless. I have no car. I have nothing. I'm $75,000 in debt. But if I throw piss on a United States senator, four people will be upset. 4 people on Twitter will be upset, and everybody will be like, "That's awesome. You go, girl. This is very cool. You're a girl boss. Good for you." So yeah, that's my prediction. That's my 2 cents. Pete Davidson's getting all the pussy. He's getting too much He's not getting too much pussy, but I don't know why they're all going they're all going to him. It feels like it's very much of like a herd mentality type of thing where it's like, well, everyone else is doing it. And this is kind of what happens in our it's just like Amazon. Or I guess Tesla's a good example, maybe a better example where it's like everyone's buying into Tesla cuz it's even though we don't even know what Tesla does besides make those like shitty cars that kind of suck. Did this guy get rich just from being like, I'm going to take everyone to Mars? Did he like, I think maybe this guy got rich from just talking like a 6-year-old. From being like, someday we're going to have, and I've never really heard the guy talk, so I'm sorry that the impression's not good, but he's just like, someday we're going to have technology where where your dog, you can ride on your dog. Your dog will be smart enough and you can control his. Because I feel like that is maybe kind of cool. You just make stuff up. You just make stuff up like a fucking 8-year-old. Yes, flying cars are very good, but also, it's better than a flying car is a flying bicycle. And like a room full of people clap. Man, academia. I guess I'm not going to be able to do it on this show, but I'll do it on a later show. I want to read the Wikipedia description. There's a play on Broadway. It's called Slave Play. And it's got a bunch of Tony nominations, and it's like, I sort of know what it's about. It's about these modern day. I guess what it's about is it takes place like on a plantation. And it's about these modern day couples. Like, you think it's on a plantation, but actually what's going on in the play is that these modern couples are undergoing some kind of like sex therapy treatment, some sort of like antebellum sex therapy where they pretend they're slaves and they fuck each other because they're all interracial couples. I don't fucking know. But the guy who wrote it is like went to like Yale drama school. He wrote it in his first year at Yale Drama School, And I saw him in an interview. He's just like a guy with an effeminate black guy with a big afro, which is something. So he must be young. Is my point? He must be like younger than me. But the stuff that comes out of academia is no bueno, very, very bad, and I don't know what is going on, but we have Elon Musk and we have Slave Play, which is, yeah. You know what my problem is? I don't know if I'm unhappy or, because I'm definitely smarter than I was 15, 20 years ago. I remember watching something satirical like South Park where I would go like, oh yeah, that is like funny. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, we really do live in a very like dumb world. But now as I'm getting older, I'm starting to see how dumb this world really is. I'm starting to see that it's, I would only notice it when I consumed comedy or something like that. But now I'm like starting to see it for real, and it's not always easy to make fun of. It's like really depressing. And obviously I didn't feel this way when I was like 15 years old. I had more faith in certain things and certain institutions and whatever, but yeah. Yeah. Now I just think the world is really dumb, and we have things like Elon Musk and Slave Play. We have a guy who thinks that who's inventing like a device that a condom for alien pussy, like a guy who's like, oh yes, this is how who's like, this is what we think alien vaginas would look like, and this is how you perform cunnilingus on them, and a room of people clap. And then we have a guy who's like, yeah, it's called Slave Play, and it's about these interracial couples who dress up like slaves and fuck each I mean, come on. Just read the Wikipedia description of this play. It's fucking bonkers. I'm going to read it on the next show. And then, I think the last thing that I want to talk about today on this episode is I want to talk about this Dave Portnoy thing, this Barstool thing. I was talking to my friend Allison Libby recently. We were talking about how doing comedy's harder now because I feel like I have nothing to say. I think this is I don't know if you guys feel that way too. You feel like you have nothing to say. I feel like I have nothing to say. And this article came. I don't have much to say about this article, this Dave Portnoy article. There's people on Twitter who have broken it down way better than I have. But apparently, what's happened is he's always been kind of I'm going to exercise my free speech over here. I watch the guy's pizza reviews and stuff, but it seems like the guy's always been kind of a piece of shit, which I don't even think he would argue with you on that. He's, we're all pieces of shit, but he seems like kind of like he's self-aware that he's like a piece of shit. And I guess what he would do is he would find women on Barstool, women on the internet would DM. He would DM with very young women who just got out of high school, and he would have rough sex with these women. Some of them did talk about it before they met up, but he would have rough sex with these women and film it. And a lot of the girls in this article kind of felt like they had been degraded. They didn't have a positive experience with having sex with this guy. There's also a lot of sort of like there's instances where people have been people who were Barstool fans have harassed people who who are sort of like enemies of Portnoy and Barstool fans. I can't think of anybody I want to hang out with less than a Barstool sports fan. And the type of it's like the type of person that I just I'm not saying this as a pejorative, but guys who are like basic. And there's nothing wrong with being basic. There's nothing wrong with being a little basic. But guys who are just a little basic. And I guess my big takeaway from this article is like I am ready for a new culture to dominate. I'm ready for some new ideas. I don't know if it's going to be China or India or Hindus or Islam that ends up taking us over. But I just can't help but feeling like the United States is a rotten, decaying empire that's built on, white supremacy. It's built on patriarchy, heteronormativity. Is there anything more lame than guys who are kind of stuck on this transgender thing? Guys who harp on transgender stuff, whether it's like whatever the more conventional position is to take. I just guys who have this obsession with trans people as if the notion of somebody being transgender is like, some kind of lie or whatever. I feel like I know enough trans people and I follow enough of them. I follow, one of them on TikTok where I just kind of like, I'm like, yeah, this is fine. This is great and good for them. And there might have been a point in my life where maybe it did make me a little uncomfortable because I didn't understand it. But I feel like I've evolved past it, and it's like cool. It's cool to hang out with trans women. You feel like you're fucking Paul Newman in the 60s. You feel like you're what's a better example of that? I don't know. You feel like you're fucking, I don't know, who, George C. Scott? You feel like Paul Newman in the 60s is the best example because it's like the most of the, it's like the least it's kind of the least mainstream group at the moment is transgender people, and you're like hanging out with them. You feel like you're on the edge of something. Now, I hope that's not insulting to the trans community, but you just like you gotta get over it. You gotta stop harping on it. You gotta stop acting like you're under attack. You gotta stop acting like fucking, I don't know, like girls' sports are under, like you even ever gave a shit about girls' sports. I don't know. As long as there's safety, let's watch. Let's see what happens. Also, is it proven that a trans athlete has an advantage in sports, in every sport, that they're faster? Stronger, probably, yes, but like faster, better at kicking a ball, better at, I don't know, throwing. Baby's crying again, so I gotta go. But I am Ty. I'm very bored with our culture, with our sort of barstool, fucking mediocre white guys. This mediocrity of like, I don't even know. I don't know that many people. I live in New York. I don't know that many people, but this the flag on the truck, the fucking acting like you're a tough guy when you've never accomplished really anything, when you've never really worked that hard. This whole thing, I want it to end. I want to see what's next. I want to see who conquers us. That's what I want to do. I want to see who takes us over. I want to see who's strong enough to fucking topple this dog shit decaying empire. I want to see what's coming. I want to see who's going to take us over. Let's go. Come over the hills and take us over. I'm ready. I hate this country. You know what I mean. All right. Baby's crying. I got to go. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.